This lesson reviews order of operation, or what many students prefer to call Pemdas. The P stands for parentheses, E is exponents, M and D are multiplication and division, A and S, addition and subtraction. This order tells us how to do things if there's more than one operation. So see, in this first problem, there's subtraction and addition. Now, many people mistakenly believe that you have to do the addition before the subtraction. But notice I wrote addition and subtraction on the same line. If you have both of those in the problem, you just go from left to right. So the first thing that shows up is 13 minus 7, which is 6, and then you add 6, and the answer is 12. Notice that if you added first, well, 7 plus 6 is 13, and 13 minus 13 is 0. And that's actually not correct unless you put the 7 plus 6 in parentheses. That would be your way of telling somebody, I want you to actually add first. Okay, the next problem isn't so much PEMDAS, but it's worth looking at adding fractions when one or more of them is negative. So the denominators of 4 and 6 suggest a common denominator of 12. 4 was tripled, so 3 times 3 is 9. And then 6 was doubled, so negative 5 times 2 is negative 10. I prefer, when I'm doing arithmetic with fractions, to associate the negative with the numerator. And then the rule says add the numerators, 9 plus negative 10 is 1, and keep the same denominator. So there you go. Now, this next one, well, first you're going to go to the parentheses. So I'm just going to recopy everything, 2 plus 6, and then I'm going to do 3 minus 8. Be careful, 3 minus 8 is negative 5. All right, now, when you have these parentheses here, it means multiply. So you have addition and multiplication. You got to do the multiplication first. 6 plus negative 5 is negative 30. And then the final step is to add those two, and you would get negative 28. All right, let's look at two more examples. Why don't you go ahead and try that one and see what you get. So I'm just going to wait for a moment and give you a chance to work that out. Okay, I don't know if that was enough time, but here's what I would hope you did. The first thing we need to do is what's in the parentheses. Negative 7 plus 4 is negative 3. And then you have to multiply. So you're going to get, 4 minus, and then 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. And then 4 minus negative 6 is actually 10. That one was perhaps a little tricky, but definitely something you should be able to do. All right, this next one. There's division and there's multiplication. How many think, well, it's like I'm talking to the whole class. Do you think we should divide first or multiply first? Remember, multiplication and division have the same level of priority, so you just go in order. You do what shows up first, which is 20 divided by 4, and that's 5, and 5 times 5 is 25. Notice that had you multiplied first 4 times 5, that's 20. You would have gotten 20 divided by 20, which is 1, and that's not the right answer. Okay, another thing I want to explain to you is the slight difference between these two expressions. Visually, this one has parentheses, this one doesn't. But that means, it means something different. This first one means take negative 4 and square it, or take negative 4 and multiply it by itself. And a negative times a negative is positive. Okay, now this one means, because PEMDAS says you got to do the exponent first, a negative is sort of like multiplication. So first you multiply, 4 times 4 is 16, or rather you do the exponent, and then when you're done, you put the negative. So notice that these are not equal. All right, now look at this one. This one means take your -4 and multiply it by itself 3 times. All right, so -4 times -4 is positive 16. And then positive 16 times -4 is negative 64. Now, on this side, you want to do 4 times 4 times 4. And then when you're done with that, make it negative. So 4 times 4 times 4 is 64. And then you put the negative. Notice, in this case, they are equal. I don't want to just give it away, but I want you to think about how you will know when you look at the problem that, say, in this first example, they're not equal, whereas in the second example, they are. So think about that, and maybe we can talk about that in class. Okay, your homework. Please do number 3. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. Homework number 3. Please do problem number 4 on page 31. And then please also answer these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 problems. Okay? Do your best. Have it ready tomorrow. All right, see you then.